Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Live with Mel. The Senate impeachment trial of President Donald J. Trump is set to begin this week. Now, this is something that we have been talking about for the past several weeks, and it's something that people have been arguing over for the past several weeks. Now, the House passed in January the articles of impeachment, and the trial, which will now be going to the Senate, is set to begin tomorrow. Now, even though the trial is set to begin tomorrow, leading up to the trial, several things have to happen. And today, the big thing that happened is that the lawyers from both sides of the trial have issued their pre-trial briefings. Now, with the pre-trial briefings, we're seeing that President Trump's pre-trial briefings is quite interesting. And one of the interesting things about the pre-trial briefings that Trump's lawyers issued is the claim about the Democrats. Now, Trump's lawyers are stating that the Democrats are only in this for a political theater or a political circus. They're saying that they're only doing this to stir up the base and to cause trouble in a time when we should be coming together. Another thing that they're saying in the pre-trial briefing is that this is unconstitutional. Now, as we have been watching this whole impeachment trial come together, the one thing that Republicans have been saying time and time again is that they believe that this impeachment trial is unconstitutional. It's looking as though that is going to be the bulk of the beginning of the trial. Now, before the impeachment trials, Trump's lawyers have been saying that it's unconstitutional. And in the pre-trial briefings, Trump's lawyers are saying that it's unconstitutional. Now, again, many people, especially Democrats, are saying that this trial needs to happen because people need to be held accountable for what happened. Hey, Wade, how are you doing? So Wade actually joins me on the Tuesday night show. So check that Tuesday night show out as well. Now, the one thing that people have been saying is that it's been unconstitutional. But Democrats have been saying that this trial needs to happen because people need to be held accountable for the Capitol riots that happened on January 6th. Now, on January 6th, we all know that many of Trump's supporters went and stormed the White House. Now, the whole point of this trial is they're saying that the only reason that the storming of the Capitol, not the White House, the storming of the Capitol happened was because of Trump's rhetoric, because of what Trump said during the entire time leading up to it. Now, again, President Trump had been stating since the election that the election results were inaccurate, that there was fraud happening, that the mail-in ballots were wrong, that things were wrong, that a lot of fraud was happening. And because of Trump's rhetoric, because of what he said during the time of the election up until January 6th, many are saying that that is what incited the violence and the storming of the Capitol that happened on January 6th. Now, as we see this all coming together, as we see the impeachment trials actually happening, there's two things to actually point out. And the first thing is that Donald Trump is actually the first president to be impeached twice. He's the first president to have been impeached twice. He is also the first president to face trial after he left the White House. Now, this is something that is interesting, and that's something that most people are arguing about right now. It's not even whether Donald Trump should stand trial because of what he did, but it's because of, is it constitutional? Does it go against the Constitution to impeach a president that has already left the White House? Now, the one thing to know is that tomorrow, when the impeachment trial begins, remember, he's already been impeached. He was impeached by the House. And now it moves to the Senate where there will be a trial. Now, tomorrow, when the impeachment trials begin, the one thing that they're going to start talking about is whether it's constitutional or not. So the first set of debates that are going to happen first thing tomorrow as the trial begins is both sides are going to get the opportunity to debate whether this is a constitutional proceeding, whether this is legally allowed under the Constitution. And after they have this debate in the Senate, that is when they're going to take another vote to see whether it's constitutional or not. So what do you guys think? Go ahead and share in the comment section below. What do you guys think about the impeachment trial. Do you guys believe that this is constitutional? Do you believe that it is constitutional to hold the president accountable and to have the hearing after the president has left the White House? Because again, he wasn't impeached after he left the White House. He was impeached while he was still in office. It's just that the trial is happening while he's out of office. So do you guys believe that it is constitutional, or do you guys believe that it's not constitutional? Go ahead and share your comments in the comment section below. Now, again, whether it's constitutional or not, the trial is set to begin tomorrow. And if the vote happens where people say that it's constitutional, this trial will go on. Now, they're saying that they're trying to make this a very, very short trial. Both Democrats and Republicans want this to be as quick as possible. They want it to go in, state the facts, have the vote, and go out. No one wants this to actually drag along. But as we heard before, that there is a possibility that this trial can drag on because of witnesses, because of FBI or whatnot. But we're seeing that it could possibly be a short trial. And it could possibly be an extremely short trial if the vote happens that it's unconstitutional. Because again, before anything goes on, before they talk about anything that happened prior to January 6th, before anything happens where they talk about the actual Capitol riots, the first debate is going to be solely whether it's constitutional or not. So after this debate and vote happens on Tuesday, that's when they'll go in to talk about everything that happened on January 6th. Now, again, it's not just the events that happened on January 6th that they're going to be talking about. They're going to be talking about the lead up. Because again, they're charging Trump with inciting a riot. They're charging President Trump with saying that his rhetoric was the reason why people stormed the Capitol building. They're saying that because of what he said from the time, from the election to January 6th is what led to the storming of the Capitol. Because many people are saying that it's just the words that were said right before. But essentially they're saying that it's the entire time is what led to it. Guys, so let me know what you think in the comments below. So first thing I want to know from you guys is, do you guys think this is constitutional? Do you believe that the Senate has the right to go forward with the impeachment trials after a president has left office? Another thing I want you to hear from you guys is, does it matter? Does this trial actually matter? Now, again, many people are saying that the trial does matter because people need to be held accountable for what happened on January 6th. But not only do people need to be held accountable for what happened on January 6th, there needs to be some accountability so a repeat of that doesn't happen again, because that's something that we do have to look at as a country. If a political leader like Trump has the ability, with just his words, to command his followers to storm the Capitol building, if he is not held accountable right now, what is there to stop another political leader in the future from doing it again? I think that's one of the things that we really do have to look at. Now, I do know we're in the situation where we're looking at just Trump and just the Capitol riots. But if we show that things like this can happen, that people can say these things, that political leaders can say these things and rile their base, that they'll go unchecked, what is to stop another political leader from gaining an even bigger following and storming another building? Because right now, I know a lot of us, it's very polarized, and it's Democrats versus Republican, and it's for Trump, against Trump. But honestly, we do need to look at this bigger. Because what happens this week, what happens at this trial sets precedent. What happens with the way that we view and the way that we hold people accountable will set precedent for presidents in the future. Now, again, Trump's lawyers are arguing that Trump was just using his First Amendment right, and it's freedom of speech. But how far does freedom of speech go? So let's go to the comment sections really quick. So Joanna says, I believe it needs to take place. The trial does matter. And I think the one thing about the trial that really does matter is setting precedents. And again, a political figure like Donald J. Trump has the ability, because he has the charisma, to speak to the hearts of his base. I'll say it, Donald Trump has the ability to reach the heart of his base and inspire them in a way that many leaders have not been able to do in a very long time. But because of this power that President Trump has, he can inspire people to do great things, or he can inspire people to do destructive things. And if we show that, if a political leader has this charisma and he can touch the hearts of his or her base and have them do things, we'll see that if he's not held accountable, that other leaders will be able to do the same thing without being held accountable, because that's the precedent that it will set. But how far will that go? Because again, today, in this day and age, it was just President Trump and the Capitol riots. But in 10 years, it can be another political leader, whether it's Democrat, Republican, Socialist, or another leader from another party who has that same charisma to inspire another group of people to go out there and do other things. And if the precedent is not set today, then other political leaders will believe that they have the power and the ability to do it at another time. So Wade says you can say anything you want. That doesn't mean you are free from consequences of what you say. And I think that is something that is really, really important. You can say whatever you want, but there's going to be consequences behind it, especially if there's actions taken behind it, especially if you say something, if I say that I want so-and-so dead and then people go and kill that person, I'm going to be held responsible for my action under RICO laws. So Sohaila also says, get him out. Now, again, I know this is a topic that is very, very polarized because as a nation, we are split. We are split as Democrats and Republicans. We're split as for Trump or against Trump. We're split on so many different ways. And while we need to find a way to get this country together and to be one nation, we do have to look at this case, not as Democrats or Republicans, not as for Trump or against Trump, but as, is this the direction that we want our country to go? Because this one thing is really going to set precedent for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years down the line. This one trial is going to set up how we view how people deal with election results. This one trial is going to set precedent on what political leaders can say. Because if political leaders have the power to command a group of people with just their words and have them attack anything, because again, in this day and age, it was just the Capitol riots and it was just January 6th and it was just a couple hours. But if any other political leader sees that this power can go unchecked and they use their words to storm the White House, to storm the Capitol building again, to take over the government, we're saying that this is okay, that you can say whatever you want as a political figure, as the head of a party, as a president, and it's going to go unchecked, and you can have your people, your base, do unspeakable things. So let's see. Let's go to the comments really quickly. So Wade says, it needs to set up a standard and not this is what we do to people we don't like. And I think that's something that is extremely important. Precedent needs to be set, and it doesn't matter whether we're for or against. That's not what needs to happen. We do need to look at the facts. And Congress does need to take a look at the facts. And then Joanna says, exactly. And then Wade, so Deborah says, Wade Saxon agreed. You are free to choose, but your choices are not free. And then Sohaila says, too bad he didn't tell his supporters to jump off a bridge. Sohaila always has something funny to say. We don't want anyone to jump off a bridge, but that is what Sohaila said. So guys, let me know what you think in the comment section below. What do you guys think about this trial? Again, today, they put out their pre-trial briefings, and Trump's lawyer said that this was just a political theater and that this is unconstitutional. And tomorrow, when the trial begins, the first thing that they are going to do is debate on whether this is constitutional or whether it's not. And after that, there'll be a vote. So guys, let me know what you think. Do you think that this trial is constitutional? Do you think that people need to be held accountable for what happened at the Capitol on January 6th? Or do you even think this trial is worth it? Now, again, I think this trial is extremely important and it's going to go down in American history because this is going to set precedent for the next 100 years, because it's going to show how much power that a president can have over his base with just his rhetoric or her voice. And then Joanna says, we need to repair our democracy, and this is the first step. And then Grandma says, have a freeway day. So that's my grandmother, guys. She always tunes in. So thank you so much for supporting Grandma. And then Sohaila says, time to drain his own swamp. You know, that was one of his things. He said he wanted to drain the swamp. So now Sohaila is saying it's time to drain his own swamp. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for watching. And I'm really curious, what do you guys think? Go ahead and share it in the comment section below what you guys think, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching this some other time. I do come back to the comments and I inbox people as well to have conversations. And I want to know what you think, because your opinion matters. I will continue to bring you the facts about everything that's going on in the world, whether it's American politics or whether it's happening internationally. And the thing is, I'm going to bring you the facts, but I want to know what your opinions are, because your opinion matters and you do have the right to have your opinion. Whether we agree or not, it doesn't matter, because these conversations are important. We do need to have the ability to have these conversations without it turning into massive arguments. So your opinion matters, and we are free to have conversations because we live in a country where we have that freedom. So guys, let me know what you think in the comment section below. And then Rob says, if he's held accountable, then anyone that says during any campaign, we need to fight like hell, won't be able to say it because it could cause a problem. And again, we do need to see like what is acceptable. I think it's something that's really important to see what is actually acceptable for a politician to say, because what I say right here on camera versus what a politician says can hold different weight. It can hold a lot of different weight, because a politician can say fight like hell, and essentially that person's basically come up and fight like hell. I can say fight like hell and people laugh at me and write in the comments, Mel, you can't fight like hell. So it's really, really important. I think it's extremely important to see what is appropriate for a politician to say and when should a politician be held accountable. So again, I think this is really going to set precedent. So no matter which direction this trial goes, I think it's going to set a lot of precedent for political campaigns in the future and for elections in the future as well. So Ross is hot like that. So guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, let me know what you think in the comment section below, whether I'm live or whether I'm reading these later. I will have a conversation with you because it's important. Again, we don't have to agree. We are free to have the conversation. We are free to have the conversation, even if we don't agree, and we can talk about it, because your opinion matters. My opinion matters. I will continue to bring the conversation to you. So guys, I hope you have a great day. And if you like this show, check out my other show as well. And that's on Apple TV, Roku TV, and Amazon Fire. And that is The Mel Show. And again, that show's not about current events like this show, but it's about motivating, educating, empowering you to be your best self. So check it out. Again, it's a great show, and you get it on Apple TV, Roku TV, or Amazon Fire, all on the Easy Way channel. I come live every single Monday through Thursday to talk to you guys about the current events. And then Rob says, be safe as well. I hope everyone has a great day, and I will see everyone bright and early tomorrow morning. Have a great day, guys.